7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Last Row Podcast, a fan's perspective on sports,
An ARM Media production.
with your host, Brian Marshoni.
And welcome in, everybody, to the Last Row Podcast, a fan's perspective on sports. It's Brian here inside the ARM Media Solutions Studios on this Wednesday night, August the 5th, 2025. Hope you're happy, hope you're well, hope you are good wherever it is you may be listening, whether that is on Apple Podcasts or through Spotify. Thank you so much for liking, for subscribing, for listening to the show. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. If you are with us tonight for the first time on YouTube or X Live, thank you so much for joining us there at Last Row Podcast. If you are with us on TikTok Live tonight, good evening. Welcome into the chat. Make sure you are active there. Cody, thank you for the heart already. Appreciate you, brother. Yes, you should be able to go live too, I think, Friday. I think we can do like a simulcast type of thing, yeah. We can message about it. It's Friday night. Don't forget, this Friday night, I just posted a teaser about it. Catching Up with Cody, the Last Row Podcast, joining forces. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, Friday night, right here on TikTok, on YouTube, on X, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Sideline.fm. You can interact with us. This coming Friday night, two worlds collide. Detroit and Chicago are going to be together creating podcast magic. So I look forward to being with Cody on Friday night. That's going to be a lot of fun. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 7 p.m. if you are on the West Coast. Big night tonight. Want to start out by saying thank you to our friends over at I Know a Guy Remodeling. We're also going to say thank you to Forever Finds and, of course, Dubby, DUBBY.GG. If you go to DUBBY.GG and enter the promo code Last Row Podcast at checkout, you can get 10% off of your order. It is all natural. It is all legit ingredients, FDA approved. Energy powder, energy supplement, fantastic. I tried it out today for the first time after being at Bears training camp earlier on this morning. Needed a little bit of a pick-me-up, and it did its job. It did its job. There's no question about that. So we are super excited about our partnership with them. So thank you so much, Dubby, for helping to sponsor the program. Greatly appreciate it. If you are a business, or you know somebody that has a business, or you own a business, and you want to partner with America's fan-driven sports show, where it's real fans, real talk, and you are front row to it all, and your business and your message is front row to it all, please reach out. You can reach out doing so at Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, at lastrowpodcast.com. That is where you can go to, I love that, Ric Flair. Woo! Welcome in. Love that. Love that. Love that. You can check us out. Our website, www.lastrowpodcast.com. That is where you will find links to all of our wonderful, wonderful sponsors, including I Know a Guy Remodeling and, of course, Forever Finds Thrift. So thank you so much. If you are live in the chat tonight, make sure you share the live. Make sure you promote the show. Okay, let people know that the Last Row Podcast is where you want to be to get all of your sports information on a nightly basis, for the most part. All right, so let's talk here for just a little bit, if we can. The news of the day, the rundown of the day, if you will. The LA Dodgers have lost 6 in a row. They were swept by Chicago and by Boston. Now, I will tell you right here and now, Wombo Show, good evening. I was not expecting the Dodgers. I have no volume? Are you serious right now? No volume. Is that any better? Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why. TikTok likes to keep me quiet. I don't know why. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But is that any better? Hopefully it is. Yeah, so the Dodgers go into Wrigley, and all of the talk leading up to this series was, well, the trade deadline, the Dodgers get Skubal. You know, what's going to happen there? Thank you, Wombo. Appreciate you. And quite honestly, I'll just be frank with you. Being a Cubs guy, okay, being a Chicago guy, I thought there is no way the Cubs beat Skubal. No way the Cubs have a snowball's chance in hell of doing anything remotely good against the Dodgers. And the Cubs swept them. And it was a resounding sweep. It wasn't like a close series. I mean, the Cubs put up some numbers. And Skubal's game last night was the closest game of the 3. And the Cubs won that 5-1. So, the fact of the matter is the Cubs are showing that their offense, as of right now, you know, Pete Crow Armstrong is showing why he is a legitimate MVP candidate. Pete Crow Armstrong is showing why so many New York Mets fans are angry with the Mets for getting rid of him. And look, I don't blame the Mets fans for being upset. You gave up Pete Crow Armstrong, one of your best prospects, for Javi Baez in a trade that many believe has set the Cubs up for success over the next 5-10 years. And Pete Crow Armstrong has quickly become one of the best center fielders in Major League Baseball. He has absolutely become must-see television. And any at-bat that he has, he's showing, ever so slightly now, he's showing that he is becoming a very dangerous hitter at the plate. He's becoming more patient. He's becoming more selective with his pitches. And I'm going to tell you right here and now, that makes him a much more dangerous hitter. That makes him a much bigger MVP candidate, in my opinion. His defense, second to none. That's never been in question. The biggest issue here has always been, the offense. Was he going to be able to, was PCA going to be able to, for lack of a better term, put the offense and the defense together? He absolutely has. And I truly believe that PCA is on a trajectory right now to be the National League most valuable player. If he keeps this up and if he keeps playing the way that he is, that he's playing right now, there's no question in my mind that PCA will absolutely finish top 2. He has to. The Ohtani thing is slowly but surely starting to fade, and I think part of that is because Ohtani isn't pitching now. And I know it's crazy to say that, but I think part of the uniqueness with Shohei Ohtani is the fact that he has this incredible ability. He's a dual threat, offensively and pitching-wise. But now that he's a DH, he's kind of been relegated to that. He's not an outfielder. He can't really make big throws because of the elbow issue. He's got knee issues too. So the Dodgers are trying to play it safe with him, and I don't blame him. That man is literally writing, getting you checks to cash from all over the world. And without question, he has absolutely revolutionized the sport of baseball. There's no doubt about it. However, it takes more than one man to do it. And I think the Dodgers fans I know are realizing right now there is something innately wrong with Kyle Tucker. And I think it's up here. It's all mental. Tucker has not been the same since he left Chicago. Actually, realistically, he hasn't been the same since he left Houston. Whatever's going on up here with Kyle Tucker, the Dodgers paid him handsomely, mind you, to get that figured out and to understand, look, you're coming in here, there's no pressure on you. You can come in and just be the player that you are. Well, he's tried that, and he has not produced at all for the Dodgers. And that is a big hole in that lineup right now for the Dodgers. There is absolutely, he has no, right now, the way he has played this season, Tucker has been so incredibly bad for the Dodgers. Realistically on the season so far, he's batting .243 with 10 home runs, 52 RBIs. His OPS is .718. He is a minimal player for them. He has not done anything. Sticky, good evening. And realistically, if you look at his WAR, and that's wins above replacement, meaning, are there other players that are better than him, so on and so forth, what his WAR has been, okay? This season alone, in 2026, his wins above replacement, he's not even a one-win player. He's 0.9. Last year, he was a 4.5 with the Cubs. He was a 4.7 prior to that with Houston, a 5.4 in 23, a 5.2 in 22, a 5.7 in 21. So he's gone from 5.7 wins all the way down now to not even a one-win above replacement player. That is absolutely a massive drop. And you can tell there's something up here that's not right. And yes, he's dropped every year, but then you thought in 2023, being a 5.4 WAR, win above replacement player, meaning he alone would get you 5 wins, right? That's how all the stats were measured. The fact that he is now not even a one-win player for the LA Dodgers, that's a big problem for them. They were banking on him coming in to be a really solid number 2 to Shohei. And the fact that he hasn't, ooh, man, is that a problem for them? And yes, he homered against the Cubs. I get that. That's wonderful. But the fact is right now, he's played 108 games this season. So this isn't just a slow start. This is a trend with Kyle Tucker that we're seeing. And it's not good if you're the Dodgers. If you're the LA Dodgers, you're going, what the hell did we pay for right now? How is he so broken at this point? Because he is. He's absolutely broken. And the Dodgers have no answers at this point for him. And if you look at the Dodger lineup over the last, few games, they haven't produced. They've been outscored 42-22 over the last 6 games. Ohtani's hitting .297, slugging .554. His OBP is .399. Parejas, .268, .451, .322. Freddie Freeman is hitting .310. Freddie Freeman's having a resurgent year for the Dodgers. No question about it. He's playing really, really well. Shack Attack, Gary, Landon, Bill, good evening. Welcome into the show. Edmund is batting .289. Mookie Betts is at .233. Muncie's at .253. Rojas at .283. So, look, the Dodgers right now are in a spot where maybe, and I'm just putting this out there, okay? Maybe they shouldn't have thought of looking at Tarik Skubal, and maybe they should have looked at an offensive, weapon, perhaps. Somebody that would help get them over the hump, take more pressure off of Kyle Turner. Now, look, Reagan, you bring up a great point. The Dodgers have been fortunate that their big money guys have typically produced. But the way that the Dodgers are playing right now and the way that their offense is struggling, you could argue that right now Kyle Tucker has been the biggest disappointment for the Dodgers, and you wouldn't be wrong. You absolutely wouldn't be wrong. And yeah, the amount of money that they've spent, they could absolutely be in where the Mets are at. But thanks to their pitching, thanks to Shohei Ohtani, thanks to, other guys stepping up, they're not. And again, they tried to make it a game today. The Cubs won 7-6. And truthfully, look, the Dodgers have lost 6 straight. The Dodgers have lost 6 straight. When is the last time you could say that about them? It's been a while. And I'm not sure necessarily that it's going to get any easier for them. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of the fact Shohei Ohtani's not going out there every 5 days. Shohei Ohtani is not pitching for you. Now, yes, you have Tarik Skubal, who's going to be your ace. You've got Yamamoto, who's been very good. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, your offense is struggling right now. Your offense for the Dodgers is struggling. And that's something that needs to be talked about. And Dave Roberts, being such a good manager, he's going to absolutely look at, ways to get his team motivated. I really like Dave Roberts in the sense that he's a lot like what Joe Madden is. He's gonna take the pressure off of the players, I think. And I think that's going to help them. But as of right now, being swept by the Cubs, that's a pretty big deal for Chicago. Chicago knows now that they can beat the Dodgers. Where a year ago, I don't know that the Cubs thought that. A year ago, I don't know if the Cubs actually thought that they could do it. This year, I think they do. That's why the salary cap thing bothers me. Mets spend a ton and nothing has come of it. Yeah, I get it, Reagan. Look, I totally get it. But the fact of the matter is that, the Dodgers are forcing everybody to... The Dodgers are forcing everybody to want a salary cap at this point. And everybody can be mad at the Dodgers, okay? But their anger is completely misguided. Their anger is completely misguided. The Dodgers are doing everything that they can to do things the right way. Okay? They're doing everything right. They're making money hand over fist because of their television deal. They're making money, through their endorsements. They're making money through their TV contracts. All of that. The fact of the matter is, their ownership group is choosing, instead of renovating Chavez Ravine and doing all of that stuff, they're putting that money back into the ball club. And that's why they're able to go out and get all of these young players in the minors that they can then trade for big-name players. And the Dodgers are doing things the right way. Well, and that's the other part, Reagan. You're exactly right. Look, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, right? That's the old adage. So in this instance here, if you can't keep up, sell to somebody that can. Well, the fact of the matter is this. The Ricketts family absolutely, for the Cubs, can keep up. Steve Cohen absolutely can keep up. A ton of these owners can. But the problem is they choose not to. Jerry and Michael Reinsdorf from the White Sox, they absolutely can keep up. But will they? No, they don't want to spend money on pitching. They never have. But that's my point. You could be mad at the Dodgers all you want. But the fact of the matter is this. With the Dodgers, they are absolutely doing things the right way in terms of how you are to win or produce on the field. Just a reminder, if you're joining us here tonight for the first time, thank you so much for being part of the show. Remember, those hearts, those likes, those are free. Those help out. I'm not going to ask for them, but they help out, okay? They help anybody that does a live, okay? Just a quick reminder, Friday night, we will be live at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're going to be joined by Catching Up with Cody, another podcaster who's based out of Detroit. We're going to have a dual show together on Friday night. We're going to be live here on TikTok. We're going to be live on YouTube, on X, on my channel, on his channel. So we are going to be live and in living color, coast to coast, sea to shining sea and around the world. And we're looking forward to it. We're going to be talking NFL. We're going to be talking Major League Baseball, NBA, anything sports related. We're going to be talking about it because let's be honest here. That's what we do. Okay, whether it's catching up with him or whether you're in the last row with me. So we're looking forward to it. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Also, check us out on sideline.fm/Last Row Podcast. That is where you can find the audio of this of the show that's happening right now. Okay, sideline.fm/Last Row Podcast. And you can call in there. We can talk. Have a conversation, okay? You can do that all from Sideline.fm, and I will tell you this right here and now. On Sideline.fm, come football season, we will be broadcasting NFL games, doing play-by-play on Sideline.fm. So just as an FYI, to everybody that follows the show, Sideline.fm/Last Row Podcast, you want to bookmark it, okay? That is where you can go to help support the Last Row Podcast. You can go there and like us. You can go there and listen to the stream there. It's just something it's another revenue stream that we have, okay, that helps us out. So, again, the hearts and the favorite, the love or whatever it is, those are free. Utilize those. It helps us out, okay? All right, TikToker, good evening. Welcome in. All right, the Boston Red Sox are the hottest team right now in baseball. And you could legitimately say at this point in time that the Red Sox right now are playing as good of baseball as they have in probably the last 10 years. And they are absolutely making sure that they are letting it be known to everybody that they are the team to beat right now. And because of them going on that win streak that they've gone on, because of them going on that streak, they have been able to hold on to some pieces. They have been able to, not trade Aroldis Chapman, who is still one of the best closers in Major League Baseball. He's still incredibly effective. And when he does that, and when the Red Sox do that, look, they're as good as there is. I mean, you look at that offense right now. TikToker, you're not wrong. The Braves look great too. But right now, look, the Red Sox, I think, have won 11 out of 12. And at one point, they had a 15-game winning streak. So, you look at the box score from today, the White Sox didn't do anything against them, okay? But you look at, Abreu playing well, Contreras playing well, Durbin playing well, of course, Duran playing well. And I'll tell you something, that guy, even though he's not hitting for average, he is, it's echoing again, Monty? You got to be kidding me. All right, how's that, Monty? You tell me if it's echoing now. You let me know, Monty, if it's still echoing. Is anybody else hearing an echo? How about that? That might be my fault. Hang on. Reagan, you don't hear an echo? Monty, how about now? You hearing an echo still? Okay. Yeah, I thought we'd worked that out. Maybe we haven't. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it because there's no echo in my ear. Normally, I'd hear the echo if there was one. Let me mute that for a moment here. Hang on one second, folks. Live podcasting. I'm sure if I do that, then there's an echo. Let me know now if there's an echo. Anything. Okay, Monty says yes. Anybody else hear an echo? Okay, no echo, no echo, no echo. Okay. I'm not sure what exactly is going on. Let me see something here. Do you guys hear that crowd noise? Okay. Okay, hang on here. Let me try something here, gang, real quick. Hang on. Okay, so that works there. All right, so let's do this. Let me come back here and do this. Let's try this again. Okay, but then I can't hear anything. You guys hear that? Okay, is there an echo now? I'm sure there probably is now. I just don't know where it's coming from, to be completely honest with you guys. Anyway, let me see here. It just repeats. Okay. Well, let me see here. Monty, is that any better or no? It's the same. Let me look at this here. Hang on. Yeah, that's off. Yeah, I've got everything off that should be. Unless if this is it. Wait a minute. Okay, do me. Nope. Nope. Well, okay, so that just killed my microphone. There we go. Let me see here. Mixcast. Okay, yep, that's right. Okay. That's what we need there. Okay, so let's see now. Okay, where did that go? Now it's gone. Let me see here, gang. Hang on. Okay, can everybody hear that now? Is it any different? Anything? Yes, no, maybe? Wait a minute. How's that? Is that any better? Anybody else hearing the echo right now? Or is it just, or the flange, whatever it is? I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. Yeah, but that's not the case now, Monty. It should only be the one microphone, and that's all that I'm showing here is one microphone. Let me do that. Wait a minute. Monty, how about now? Is that better? Is the doubling gone? Ugh. Okay, we're going to take a timeout. I'm going to do some things here and see exactly what's going on. Because I honestly don't. Is that any better right there? How's that, Monty? Is it still there or no? It's still there? Is the echo or doubling still there? Okay, I have honestly no idea what the hell it could be. Let me look at this here. Device. Yep, that's right. Yeah, I mean the audio mix is everything is completely muted how it normally should be. I have no clue whatsoever what in the world is causing it to echo. I have no earthly idea whatsoever. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, to be honest, Monty. I have no earthly idea. I've turned down the sound effects. Let me see something here. Hang on, bear with me a quick moment here, gang. Okay, there's that. Okay, there's that. Okay, there's that, multi-track. Monty, is that any better? Let me know if that's any better for you. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's any like effects or anything that were on here, but there's not. It's not. It's not that. I don't know what else it could be then. I mean, the only other thing I could think it would be the sideline.fm. Let me just stop that for a second. Hang on. Okay. Is that any better, Monty? Let me do one other thing here. Any better now? Okay, then I'm not sure what the hell it is because I've killed Sideline, which I thought it was. I've killed the monitor mix, which it should be. I honestly don't have a clue what it could be then, because there's no other audio. I mean, I don't. Wait a minute. Monty, what about that? Still no different. Okay. I just found the microphone aux here in my. Let me see here. Filters. Nope, there's nothing there. Let me look at the properties on that. Because, we can. We got time. Enable down mixing. I don't know what that is. Monty, let me know now. Is there anything there? Or does it sound different or no? Same? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll have to spend some time on it tomorrow then and see exactly what in the world is going on with it, because it should be, and as a guy that's in a band and that does audio stuff, that bothers me. I'm not going to lie. Okay, no, I don't want that. Okay, let's see here. I just don't know what is causing it to double like that. That's so odd to me. But anyway, okay. Sorry, Monty. I'll figure it out. I promise. All right, let's take a time out here real quick. We're going to hear from our friends over at I Know a Guy Remodeling. They are going to go ahead and we're going to hear from them, and then when we come back, I'm going to tell you about Bears Camp because I was there today. It was a little warm. Not going to deny it, but we'll talk about that and more right here on America's fan-driven sports show, Echoes and All, where it's real fans, real talk, and you are front row to it all. Right here on the Last Row Podcast. When someone needs something to be remodeled, don't spend hours scrolling online for reviews. Don't cross your fingers hoping that you found the right contractor. Just remember one thing. I Know a Guy Remodeling. From kitchens and bathrooms to flooring, basements, complete home renos, they bring professionalism, craftsmanship, and reliability to every project. Your home deserves quality work from people who genuinely care about getting it right the first time. That's why we're proud to have them as part of the Last Row Podcast family. So if you're planning a project this year, give I Know a Guy Remodeling the opportunity to earn your business. You can find a link to their Facebook page on our website, www.lastrowpodcast.com, because everybody deserves to know a guy. And now you do. I Know a Guy Remodeling. And welcome back in, everybody, to the Last Row Podcast, a fan's perspective on sports. All right, let's talk here a little bit about training camp, shall we? And the Chicago Bears. Now, I was fortunate enough, and I'll just be completely transparent with everybody, okay? I have applied for media credentialing for the Chicago Bears. I have not heard anything back yet. I'm just being frank. So if anybody from the Bears is listening, please let me know. I want to cover the team. It's what I do. So with that being said, what I will tell you is this: we were there today in Bourbonnais. My son and I were, or in Lake Forest, not Bourbonnais, and it is. I will say this much, okay? It is very much a. How do I want to say this? It is very much a business, and we get that, and I understand that. I will tell you, I grew up in the era where the Bears practiced at UW Platteville in Wisconsin. Okay? And my father and myself and my grandfather, we would all go up there every year. And we would watch them. And I have some of my greatest memories of the three of us together up in Platteville, Wisconsin at the training camp. And then after training camp, we would always go out to lunch at the local establishment there called Gadzooks. And it was a staple every summer. And, I mean, this'll just tell you how long I have been obsessed with the Chicago Bears. I went there as a child back in the early 90s when Jim Harbaugh was the quarterback. And there is video evidence of me sticking my hand out like this, at training camp, and Jim Harbaugh slapping as the players walked by. And that might be part of the reason why I'm obsessed with that man. It just had such an incredible, mark on my life in terms of football. But that, Frankie, absolutely. Yeah, when it was at Bourbonnais too, yeah. I never went down to Bourbonnais just because that was way too far of a drive. I'm not even going to pretend like it's not. But the last 2 years, I have been fortunate enough, and you can get tickets on Ticketmaster when they go on when they have their training camp ticket buy. They're free tickets, so you don't buy them. You just you reserve them. And I've been fortunate the last 2 years to get them. And last year to this year, the crowd probably tripled, I would say, in size. Now, today was a very short practice. So we live 90 miles west of downtown Chicago, okay? So we're about an hour and a half on a good day from downtown Chicago. Bourbonnais, good grief. Lake Forest, where they are practicing at Halas Hall, is about an hour and 25, hour and 30 minutes, give or take, on a day. Now, in the mornings with traffic, it can get close to 2 hours because of construction, so on and so forth. Anyway, we were there today, and it was absolutely incredible to watch, to see the players. I will tell you, up close and personal, Caleb Williams looks like a different player in terms of his body. He has really slimmed down. He looks super healthy. Today was a very short practice, and I'm not going to lie and tell you it didn't piss me off that it was shorter today. Why it was shorter, I have no idea. But they got on the practice field about 8:30, and they were done by 10. And that bothered me quite a bit. I'm not sure why they did it. I agree, TikToker. I agree. Let's hope he doesn't get the Madden curse. But let me get my little rant done, and then I'll mention that. With the Bears, and with them having the expectations now on them, I will say this much. Today, the fact that you have people that take time off of work, you have people that take time out of their days to travel and to go there. And again, I'm not sure why they cut practice short today. I don't have a great reason why. Okay? I just don't. But the fact that they did really bothered me. Halas Hall is not as set up as conducive as Platteville ever was. Now, granted, it's a different time, different place, different era. I get that. But I will say this much. The fact that, you have to, you park at the mall, they shuttle you around, they get you to Halas Hall, you go and you walk through and you go through security and you do all the things you got to do. And then you get down there to the field, and there's legitimately only 2 sections of bleachers that you can sit in to watch practice. If you take your phone out, they frown upon that. There are people that are braver than I. I'm not even going to deny it. I did not take pictures this year of the field. I did not take pictures of practice, video, anything, because I don't want to risk getting banned, especially if I'm fortunate enough to get any type of media credentialing. So, needless to say, I am not happy that the Bears cut practice short today. In a little bit of time that we were there today, we saw 7-on-7 and red zone drills, and within that, and within the red zone drills, we saw Caleb Williams go 9 of 10, and we saw Caleb Williams look really, really, really good. And Jersey, good evening. And Caleb looks more in command of this offense, and that is a very good thing for Chicago. Caleb has said early in the preseason, or in training camp, that he felt last year like he was drowning, just trying to keep his head afloat. It doesn't look that way now. It looks like he has spent most of the offseason honestly working on learning the playbook inside and out, front and back, top to bottom, like the back of his hand. It looks like the offense looks 10 times better than what it did a year ago. Did that backfield look rough now that Cam Lewis is back there? The secondary, you mean? No, I mean, the secondary didn't look bad, but I'll be completely honest with you, Frankie. They weren't in pads today. They were in shells. They were in pads yesterday, and they'll be in pads tomorrow. I tried desperately to get back-to-back tickets, but I wasn't able to. And I'm not spending money on StubHub to go back. But I will say this much. I mean, I think they're going to be active in the safety market. I do. I think they're going to be active, honestly, on the defensive line market too. I think they're going to watch. Now, I'm going to mention a name right now that I want Bears fans to pay attention to, and that's Jordan Vanderberg. Vanderberg flashes. He looks the part. He's a powerful young kid. I think he could get some rotational time this year. I truly do. And I think he's going to be somebody to watch for them. I also believe that realistically, you could have, a better run game this year than what you had a year ago for Chicago. And it was a light day. There was red zone, 7-on-7. TJ Edwards was back there today at practice. He looked good. He looked fluid. Really good to see him. I was happy to see that. But Caleb was 9 of 10 in with the offense today, 5 touchdowns. Only ball that hit the ground was a throwaway, from what I remember. But really, I'm really impressed with Ben Johnson. To see what the Matt Eberflus training camp was like to now Ben Johnson, it's night and day. And you can tell how intense Ben Johnson is now at this point. Even a year ago, you could see that in Chicago and at training camp, because it was very similar, in my opinion, to how Mike Ditka ran camp. When Ditka was the coach when I was a kid, everything had a purpose. Everything had a reason. Every drill, every single possession that the offense had, every single reason that you needed to have, or any single drill opportunity, whatever you want to call it, everything had a reason. I see the same thing with Ben Johnson. Everything has a reason. No, Eberflus had no structure. No. And I'm not, I'll just say this. The coaches that are great are able to delegate or to delegate tasks, right? But everybody knows the routine, right? I mean, you see how crisp getting in and out of the huddle is now compared to a year ago at this time when they were struggling. Now, yesterday, look, they had a bad day yesterday at training camp. Lots of offensive pre-snap penalties, so on and so forth. Caleb Williams got angry with the team, with the offense. Today, much more crisp. You were able to see the offense be very efficient, obviously with Caleb being 9 of 10 with 5 touchdowns. That was a good thing. But ultimately, for the Bears, having him, having Ben Johnson the way that he has been able to, really utilize the time that they have together, he's making sure that there's not a minute or a second that goes by that people aren't active and that people aren't doing things. And that's really impressive. I really hope that the Bears have an opportunity to cash in again this year. I think it's going to be much more difficult. I think because they have a target on their back. The other thing, too, that I want to talk about here, and that offensive line, and they just got Darnell Wright to a contract extension, which they needed to. One of the best right tackles in football. That offensive line is very young. Darnell Wright, Logan Jones, Ozzie Trapillo. So the center and your 2 tackles. Now Trapillo obviously is out probably for the duration of this year because of his patella tendon injury that he suffered in the Packer playoff game. But Wright, Trapillo, and Jones, Logan Jones, the center from Iowa that they drafted, they're all 24 years of age. They're young. They're very young. Jonah Jackson is 29. It's really cool to think about what that offensive line could gel into, especially if you have the bookend tackles already set. That right there is a huge advantage for the Bears. So I really think that they have done a really good job of building the roster offensively from the inside out to ensure that they protect their franchise quarterback, which they're going to have to do again this year. There's no question about that, number one. Number two, they've got to have a really good running game, and offensive coordinator Press Taylor is absolutely the running game is going to be good, I think. It's a huge difference, Frankie. Huge difference. Reagan, to your point about Kyler, I don't think there's a good option in Minnesota. If you read the reports from yesterday, J.J. McCarthy was sailing balls in a red zone drill way out of bounds, missing guys that were wide open. They may not have a choice. It might be Kyler Murray or bust. And if that's the case, if it's Kyler Murray or bust in Minnesota, I'm just going to put it out there right here and now. I think Kevin O'Connell might be on the hot seat a little bit. I think Kevin O'Connell might be a little bit in trouble. And the reason for that is because I just wonder if he is, I mean, he's the de facto, or he was the de facto general manager during the draft. And he's a quarterback's guru, I get that. But if you have guys that you've brought in that aren't getting the job done, and you're the reason why they've been brought in, and you're the quarterback guru, this might be interesting. Now, Kyler Murray, I think, is better than J.J. McCarthy anyway. But I think the bigger question becomes, can Kyler Murray stay healthy? That's been a knock on him since he was in Arizona. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. The other knock on him is that Kyler Murray hasn't taken the necessary time, and this was one of the knocks on him in Arizona, to put his nose in the playbook versus playing on Call of Duty. So I just think that overall, they are, I think Minnesota is going to be in a rebuilding phase right now. I really do. I don't think Kyler is the answer at quarterback. You have no running game. Aaron Jones is older. Justin Jefferson is still elite. Jordan Addison is a great number 2 piece for that. That defense, while it's younger-ish under Brian Flores, they're going to miss Harrison Smith. So I just think out of everybody in the division, to me, and I said this when we broke the division down, Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota. That's how I see it shaking out. And I truly think that the Bears have the best opportunity to repeat as NFC North champions. And if they do that, then, there's a bigger target in mind now. And year 2 with Caleb Williams, he is absolutely, Caleb Williams, there's expectations on him. And you brought up the Madden curse. Or somebody brought up the Madden curse. Look, I don't think the Madden curse is real. Do I think it's coincidental? Absolutely I do. But I will say this much. A story that's coming out of Bears training camp right now is that Tyson Bagent, the backup, looks every bit the part of Caleb Williams. Meaning, he's not the same type of athlete. So don't think I'm calling Tyson Bagent that. But the command of the offense, the crispness of the and the quickness of the ball getting out on time is exactly the same as Caleb. I will just tell you this. I think that overall, if Caleb, God forbid, got hurt, you would see more of the Jared Goff-esque Ben Johnson offense with Tyson Bagent. I think there was a reason why they didn't cut Bagent loose this year, or why they didn't dangle him trade-wise. And it's because they know they've got a really good backup. And if you've got a really good backup, and you don't think that you're gonna have any kind of a drop-off, look, Ben Johnson loves Tyson Bagent. Ben Johnson is a humongous Tyson Bagent fan. And so I truly believe that Bagent could very well be a not necessarily a secret weapon, but I think Bagent could be an unsung hero. And according to reports and everything that I've heard, Good evening, bearded one. How are you, sir? Good to see you. From reports, Case Keenum raves about Tyson Bagent. Says it's one of the hardest working quarterbacks he's ever been around, one of the most intelligent quarterbacks he's ever been around as well. So look, I think that there's a legitimate shot that the Bears could have a really good backup that they're not going to want to let go. And that's smart. That's absolutely smart. And if Ben Johnson likes him that much, then Ben Johnson's going to hang on to him. And Ben Johnson absolutely should. My volume is low. Okay, TikTok has done this to me all night, apparently. My volume level on my mixing board is maxed out. Let me try this here. Hang on 1 second. Okay, how is that? Is that any better? I increased the volume overall on my mixing board as well, and I mean my mixing board is clipping essentially. Still the same, huh? How about now? Is that any better? Anything better than that or no? I just don't want this thing to start distorting. Either way, okay. we're having audio issues here tonight. Monty was hearing an echo earlier, or like a doubling as well. Nobody else was hearing that. I was also told that the volume was low. I'm not sure exactly how, because when I'm looking at my levels here, I'm almost up in the upper echelon where I don't want to be. But I will say this. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, Lane. Look, I'm disappointed in the Mariners. I really am. I'm not going to deny it. I thought the Mariners were going to be better off than what they are. No question. I will say this though, for the Chicago Bears, they look as crisp now to me where they are right now compared to where they were a year ago when I went and saw them at training camp. It's night and day difference. It is night and day difference, and it all starts with the head coach. It all starts with the mindset. It all starts with how the Bears are absolutely looking to make a statement. Look, if they get off to a fast start, there's a very good chance they could be they could have a division wrap up by Thanksgiving. If they could get off to a 4 or 5-1 start, which is legitimately possible, if they could avoid Micah Parsons early, that's a good thing for Chicago. Bearded one, I'm going to tell you this. Lane, watching the Mariners this year is like watching the Browns or the Jets. Yeah, I could see that. I think Kyle Monangai. I think Monangai leads the way. Not because of anything that DeAndre Swift is or isn't doing, but I just think Monangai has a better, I don't know, there's something about him, the way he attacks the hole. He doesn't dance around too much. He sees the hole and he goes for it. Where DeAndre Swift is more east-west running to me, and is more of a threat out of the backfield. I think Monangai being more north and south is a better thing for Chicago. Now, nobody's gonna be surprised by him this year, but I think that overall he is absolutely going to take a major step forward. I think he and Swift could each equally run for 800 yards apiece. if not 1,000 apiece, truthfully. I think they're that good. Offensive line-wise, Garrett Bradbury, the center from New England that they traded for after Drew Dahlman abruptly retired, I will tell you this, Bradbury looks every bit as good as Drew Dahlman, if not better, at this point in time. Drew Dahlman was a great center, don't get me wrong. Garrett Bradbury looks really, really good. And the fact that he's holding off Logan Jones at this point, to me, says that Logan Jones is very good. Logan Jones ran an outside zone scheme at Iowa. That's what Kirk Ferentz runs at Iowa. Iowa always produces really good centers and offensive linemen. Logan Jones is that. Logan Jones has run this outside zone scheme. Bradbury is right now doing a phenomenal job and showing why the Bears went after him. That might be one of the bigger pickups this offseason for Chicago is Garrett Bradbury. I still think, and I'm just putting it out there in the universe, I still think the Bears may look at Max Crosby closer to the trade deadline or maybe even the beginning of the season. I still believe that because I believe now with Kobe Bryant being out for 8 to 10 weeks, I think that they're going to need a pass rush. Jordan Vanderberg on the interior, I'm telling you right now, watch for him this season. I think he could become an impact player for them. I really believe that. He has shown flashes at camp of being a disruptor. Seahawks record, I'm gonna say 12-5. I'm gonna say 12-5. I like what Mike McDonald's doing there. Look, the kicker here is Sam Darnold and the offense. If the offense struggles, they're going to be bad. If the offense struggles and Sam Darnold looks like Sam Darnold, it's going to be bad. Bippin, good evening. I truly think that overall, you're going to have a great opportunity for the Bears to absolutely, look really, really good. And if they're able to do that, if they're able to repeat in that division, I don't know that they give that division back anytime soon. Yeah, the Rams absolutely are going to be very difficult, but I think for Seattle, everything is predicated on Sam Darnold in that offense. I mean, Zach Charbonnet being hurt, still doesn't help. I think that Aaron Donald coming out of retirement Aaron Donald coming out of retirement might be a blessing and a curse. The reason why I say a blessing and a curse, it's a blessing because he's Aaron Donald. It's a curse because he hasn't played ball in a couple years. So I'm wondering what his level of playing will be. Will it be the Aaron Donald of old, or will it be, a shell of a player that he used to be? We don't know yet. But there was a report on Pro Football Talk earlier on here tonight that said that he very well may be a rotational player, but he wanted to have a practice or two or a tryout with pads and a helmet on. And that was from Miles Simmons earlier on tonight. A league source told Pro Football Talk that Donald worked out in a helmet and pads to see how he feels personally. It was not for the Rams to evaluate. I will say this. If Aaron Donald comes back, it gets to be really, really, really interesting with that defensive line. No, and you're right. You're right, Bearded One. He will not have to be a 3-down lineman any longer. Yeah, Lane, we talked about that earlier on with the Dodgers and their Look, people can be mad at the Dodgers for quote-unquote ruining baseball. Spend money. Instead of putting money back in the owners' pockets, invest it back in the rosters, because that's what the Dodgers are doing. That's exactly what the Dodgers are doing. And yet they got swept by the Cubs this week, which I don't believe anybody saw coming. Truthfully, I didn't. I will say that much. So yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow night, the Hall of Fame game, the first NFL game of the preseason. I'm excited about it. I'm ready for it. I'm anxious. I'm excited. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night. I'm ready for it. Yes, they did, Bearded One. Yes, they did. The thing is, though, Lane, and here's the thing. The Cubs could spend all that money if they wanted to, but they don't want to. The Dodgers are doing the way the Dodgers are doing things, is the correct way. They are absolutely doing things how you need to do them. They're investing in their television revenue. They are investing in, markets outside of LA, i.e. Japan, with the tie-in with Yamamoto and, of course, Shohei. And then you've got an opportunity left and right to, with your television network, you're getting all that money coming in because you've got revenue deals in Japan, revenue deals in China, whatever. They're reinvesting that back into the team. And as Bearded One said just now, they're deferring their deals. They're back dating those or backlogging them. So that way they're not paying out more money up front. They're paying it at the end. And that's just allowing them, Sarah, good evening. That's just allowing them to have the opportunity to realistically invest more money. Now, their farm system, they're developing players that people want, and it's not hurting them really. But, again, if there's a manager right now in the game that I think that does as well as anybody as deferring pressure, it's Dave Roberts. But, yeah, they're going through a 6-game losing streak right now. Nobody thought that was going to, nobody saw that coming. But at the same point in time, I don't necessarily know if it really matters, to be honest with you. Because, look, the Dodgers are a force to be reckoned with. And come playoff time, I'm sorry, nobody wants to see that pitching rotation. Skubal, Yamamoto, Glasnow, who am I missing? Ohtani's not pitching now. But anyway, that pitching rotation is as solid as it gets. Nobody wants to see that. Now, if you've got an offense that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, great. Then you can do so. But if you don't, that pitching staff's going to shut you down. Blake Snell, thank you. Yeah, he struggled. He has struggled in the rehab stint, yep. But again, look, you've got other guys that are stepping up and trying to fill in. And look, Yamamoto is as good as there is in the game still, I think. And we saw last year how valuable he was in the playoffs. And I think he'll be absolutely just as valuable this year. And you've got Skubal, who I think is going to be very, very good for them. Look, that was their best game of this 3-game series against the Cubs was the Skubal game. But the Cubs just were better. And that's really, really hard for me to say because, and we talked about it at the very beginning of the show, and if you missed it, catch it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Pete Crow Armstrong right now is absolutely playing lights out. He's absolutely lights out right now. Defensively, offensively, he's doing everything right. He's doing everything. And the one thing and we talked about it earlier on, the one thing that we're seeing him do is become more disciplined at the plate, which is something that, quite honestly, PCA hasn't developed really until this year. And now that he has absolutely established himself now as the front runner for MVP. And we talked about that earlier on. So look, the Cubs right now are clicking on all cylinders. There's no question. The Cubs are also in a position where they've got to get some help and hope that Milwaukee loses. Because if the Cubs have to get the wild card, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to get through a whole. It's going to be difficult for them. Oh, absolutely, Bearded One. Yeah, early in the year he struggled and he was putting a lot of pressure on himself. And you know what? He now is absolutely. He's just relaxed and he's playing Pete Crow Armstrong baseball, which, again, as we said early on in the show, is an MVP type candidate. And he absolutely might very well be the MVP of the National League. And he will carry the Cubs into the postseason, whether that's a wild card or whether that's through the division. But either way, the Cubs are clicking right now. And they found their leadoff hitter in PCA. And, you know, it's the old Joel Madden adage with Dexter Fowler. We go as he goes. Well, the Cubs go as PCA goes. So I think that the Cubs have found their leadoff hitter. I think they need to get Michael Busch going again. I think they need to get Alex Bregman going, which I think they will. He's a second-half guy. So we'll see. But I think overall, you're going to have a number of guys that are clicking right now when they need to, but we need to see some sustained success through September for the Cubs. All right, that's going to put a bow on this edition of the Last Row Podcast. I want to thank you so much for listening and for being with us. If you are with us tonight on TikTok Live, stick around. We've got the overtime where we continue to talk more sports. If you are with us on YouTube or X Live, head on over to TikTok Live. We will be there shortly. I want to thank I Know a Guy Remodeling. I want to thank our friends over at Forever Finds Thrift for their continued support of the show. And until next time, when breaking news changes everything, I'll see you on America's fan-driven sports show, where it's real fans, real talk, and you are front row to it all, right here in the